Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
Good evening everybody and welcome to round 5 of the VOR iRacing IndyCar Euro Series powered by Apex Sage Coaching. We are here from the streets of Long Beach. For the first ever time in VOR history we are racing from a street course. So welcome along everybody to the Long Beach Grand Prix. 48 laps on the menu tonight around this famous street course in IndyCar racing. Here you can see the track. It's just under 3 kilometers in length. And you can see 11 corners, 5 to the left and 6 to the right. And it is tight in the hairpin, especially the final corner to 11. That's going to be the starting spot as well. The car's going to line up for the green flag then. So going to be an interesting start to say the least. The drivers have been warned about the row formation being quite tricky. So you will see drivers go single file through the hairpin and then line up for the rolling start as usual. But quickly going over all the good stuff, we actually have the standings graphic up tonight as well. So here we have Jesper Eriksson and Alejandro Del Campo separated by just one single point at the halfway point in the season. So very tight championship race. Then 22 points back from Jesper. We have Patrick Silvestri, who is doing an excellent job this season. So good job to him. And his teammate Sepp Kinder just behind as well. Only 12 points back from Patrick, Sepp's teammate. Then we have Oscar Fredriksson running off the top 5 in the drivers. Then the teams is led by Team Watson Racing, who are doing an incredible job this season, it has to be said. So hopefully for them they can keep the momentum going. And of course looking at the remainder of the schedule as well. We got Long Beach tonight. Then we have a week off again until we return to the Red Bull Ring before we go to the Indy Bike Course and then the Oval for the final race of the season. So as I mentioned, back for the Euro Series. It's been a week since we've raced as well, since the last race at Spa. And we are here for the first time ever on a street course. So why that's a big deal is, just look at it. The walls are so close to you. Usually we run on permanent road courses that we have on the schedule, like Spa, like Kota for example, those kind of tracks. You don't have those runoff areas here, so the walls get oh so close, especially when you're pushing the car to the limit. The IndyCar is known for its challenging handling model as well, so it's going to be a tricky race, and we're all in for that. So really can't wait to see these cars take the green flag. Of course, later on tonight we have the main series race here as well, as we see a car getting a little bit wiggling out of the final corner. That's the one car of Oscar Fredriksson, who is running a throwback livery for the main series later on tonight. It's any F1 race winner for the main series. That's going to be the throwback paint scheme team, and Oscar already sporting that here at the moment. So we're just going to settle into things. We've got Sepp Kinder in his Kimi Räikkönen paint from 2007, I believe it is, from his championship year. And then we've got Patrick in his usual livery, who is finishing up his first lap, I do believe. And I'm just quickly going to reload the overlays for myself, because I think there were some issues with it just now, so hopefully it's all fixed now. But Del Campo currently leads the way with a 178, and I have seen 107.3s here earlier in the week, in practice, in the main series that is. Don't tell me who that was from, myself. No, but seriously, the 1:07s are probably going to be the highest times you can get. The 1:06s are very difficult to get into. So we're going to see 1:07s mostly tonight. And a few people in the low 1:08s. So look for the times to come down as the qualifying session progresses. And hold on why is this not working as I intended to do? Let's just look at the top 5 instead, then if that works. There you go. So Sepp Kinder goes to second quickest with a 1 minute 8.0, which is 2 times quicker than his teammates. So Team Watson doing a great job again, and Lily can hardly hear me. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I know what the issue is. Windows likes to reset my mic. Here we go. Is this better? Lily, can you tell me if it's better or not? I just moved my mic in the Windows settings all the way up to the max again. It was there, but when I looked at the soundbar on OBS, it literally went up again, so I don't know what it is, but should be all good now. Either way, I can probably lower the sim audio a little bit as well. Let's go down to 20%. Please let me know if this works, Lily. One thing as well, by the way, I did add a 30-second delay to the broadcast because I had some buffering issues for some reason in the PMRL broadcasting I do. So hopefully that's fixed for tonight as well, because I did see it in one of my broadcasts for the Euro Series too. So hopefully it's all good, but if not, I will keep working on it. Alright, seems to work again. Thank you, Lily. It's always really weird how iRacing messes up the volume sometimes, and also my Windows settings. I don't know what it is, but oh well. It's working now again, that's what matters, right? So I'll just quickly go over all the track info again, just in case you all missed that. So looking at the track map again right here, it's a 3-kilometer track. And it's just over sea level, 3 meters. It's right on the beach as well, Long Beach, and this is a street course, as I mentioned, so very tight with all the walls, as Patrick is lining himself up to start another hot lap, I believe. So let's track him, as he has updated his SDK info finally. He's a 7-time total podium sitter here in this league, so I'm gonna try and get another one on there. That was weird. Okay. No worries, Lily. So, Long Beach. I will mention this so many times, but the hairpin is gonna be so tricky, especially at the start. Even when you're running on your own, it sometimes really is hard to make your way around the corner without hitting the wall on the exit, for example, or hitting it on the inside, because you're trying to hit the apex, trying to make the corner as wide as possible to open up the exit. But sometimes you either clip the wall on the inside, as we will see just when we go over with Patrick right here through the hairpin. You can clip the inside wall or the outside wall if you take a little bit too much speed through it. So that's going to be tricky, but I have faith in these guys that they will manage. As the counter goes to a 1 minute 7.6, Sepp to a 1 minute 7.8, and Patrick, I believe, improves to a 1 minute 8 flat just now. So the time's getting closer and closer to those 1 minute 7s. As Patrick really is hustling his car around the fountain section, really great to watch. Long Beach truly is a driver's track, as he just misses the apex slightly there, but Long Beach really has you on your toes all night long. Not just in qualifying, although especially in qualifying, but in the race. On the primary tires, for example, straight out of the pits, it's going to be even trickier than qualifying. But it really does pay off if you have confidence in the car. So he just brushes the wall a little bit. It's not going to be ideal, but you really have to get up close to those walls in order to make a good qualifying effort, as Sepp Kinder goes across the line to start another lap, I do believe. We have about 5 minutes left now in qualifying, as Sepp goes straight on, locks up. So let's see what Oscar Fredriksson can do. as Oscar is starting a lap. So here we go for an onboard lap with Oscar Fredriksson as we grab the right camera angle. I didn't want that one either. There you go, this one. So going through the first kink, it's not officially a corner. Going into turn 1 now, you want to brake just as the white line stops right there. Get on the curb to rotate the car, get right up to the wall, then right up to the wall here as well. Then you want to clip that concrete bit on the inside. And then for this corner, want to kind of take it easy. First gear, shift up to second, then go down to first again. Try to get the power down here, is off camber. Really want to get up to the up close to the wall here on entry as well. Then here in the middle of the corner 2. Then here is a nasty little bump. It's very easy to unsettle the car, but Oscar manages okay right there as well. Then you want to cut as much of the inside here as well. Be careful of the bumps on the throttle. Then down the backstretch into the final section of the lap. You want to brake just as the white line starts right there in the middle of the track. Get on the curb, rotate the car again, just like you did at turn 1. Then get all the way up on the rumble strips. Make the corner as wide as possible. Turn in late to get a straight exit. But don't go too late though, because you'll lose time. Then on the throttle again. Then down the front straight to finish off the lap at Long Beach. And Oscar will go to 1 minute 7.9. 1-3. So a pretty solid lap. It's about 3/10 off Del Campo though, who is on the provisional pole with 3 minutes left. Oh, as Del Campo takes a little bit too much risk right there. And that's going to ruin his lap, at least for this one. As we now follow Juan Manuel Frias Games, who was a new driver in the Hungarian Grand Prix a few weeks ago, as he loses it on that bump, like I just mentioned. Very easy to do, and spins into the wall. This car and setup as well, very tricky on the colder tires. Takes about a lap or 2 even for the reds to really warm up. It's about 3 or 5 laps, 3 to 5 laps I should say, for the blacks to really come in. And speaking of the tires coming into their windows, the track temperature is 43 degrees. It's not very cool, but it's not really hot either. So it will take a little bit of time to get the tires into their window, but I think the majority of the guys here tonight should be able to manage that just about fine. As we watch Thomas Geisler running for racers. As Thomas doesn't really have a good final part of that lap, so he's going to reset to the pits. Want to say hi to all the 5 viewers in chat, by the way. And hello to you, Joyce. And of course Lily, the true Team Watson Racing fan. Always good to see you. Every week basically, so I'm glad to have you back as well. But just a minute left. And it really is looking like another pole position for Del Campo, but don't really count out Sepp Kinder just yet. He is the closest one to Del Campo. So maybe Sepp can get an upset pole position here at Long Beach, which would be the first in his Euro Series career and also in the main series, I believe. So we now have 6 viewers, welcome. That number is growing every week, by the way. It's really good to see, so I'm glad you guys are tuning into these broadcasts. If you enjoy them, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and also like. Really helps. And of course, if you have a question or a comment, feel free to put it in chat as well. I know there's someone out there who doesn't really know a lot about racing, so feel free to submit your questions. But clock is up in 2 seconds. There we go, it's up now. So let's grab the track map with all the numbers to see where everybody is. Oh, that doesn't really work. Oops. We'll get rid of that and bring up this one. So Thomas Geisler goes into the pits, so his run is done. We're waiting for Juan Manuel to make his way around the hairpin section for Euromaster Esports. Through the hairpin, he goes onto the front straight. And will he have a challenge for his teammate Docampo across the line? Not really for his teammate, but he does jump Sepp Kinder by about half a tenth of a second. So it's a Euromaster Esports front row once again. With Sepp Kinder moving down into third, but Ross Fretton on the front straight slowing, so he's not going to improve. So that's going to set the grid for the Grand Prix of Long Beach, the inaugural running of it in the Euro Series, and also in VR on its own, because we're going to run here later tonight as well, but we've never run here before. So we'll just wait quickly for iRacing to process all the qualifying results. In the meantime, I am going to make a very quick change to iRacing, because we heard somebody on the voice chat. We don't need to hear that. There you go. So just gonna let iRacing's clock run out. We'll quickly talk about the track in the meantime though. So looking at the Long Beach street circuit once again, 3 kilometers is the track length, 11 corners, 6 to the right, 5 to the left. Then the pit speed limit is 39 miles per hour, which is 64 kilometers per hour. Fuel window will be 25-26 laps, depending on how much you can save. So it should be a pretty straightforward one-stopper tonight. And remember that you do have to use both compounds, so that's going to add something to the strategy as well, as we have qualifying results that are in. So on the front row, Euromaster Esports occupy that row completely. Alejandro Docampo on the pole position with Juan Manuel Frias-Gamez alongside him. 2 tenths separate the teammates. Then row 2 is going to be Sebastian Kinder with his best qualifying of the season, with Oscar Fredriksson alongside him. And Oscar, I don't think he's going to be too happy, but he also won't be too upset with this qualifying result. He has struggled this season in the Euro Series, so hopefully for Oscar he can rebound. Patrick Silvassi and Thomas Geisler on row 3. Patrick, after another podium a few weeks ago, gonna try to get another one here. Then we got Ross Fretton, the final car on the grid. 7 cars gonna take the green flag. We did expect about 10, but a few people last minute not able to make it, unfortunately. So here we go for 48 laps around Long Beach. And watch that hairpin at the start, on the pace lap even. That's probably going to be the most chaotic moment of the race, apart from turn 1 when we actually get going. But Porsche pace car rolls off with the Euromaster Esports drivers following it. We're going to go single file through the hairpin. At least that's what these guys are supposed to do. Let's see how many will actually listen. And I think everybody is. So pace car gonna make his way around the hairpin and pull into the pits. The front row is gonna line up. Row 2 as well, then row 3. And the field in control of the race leader. And we are gonna get racing here at Long Beach. Green flag is out for the inaugural race at Long Beach. And Alejandro Docampo gets an early jump as we go into turn 1. Oscar already on the inside of Sepp Kinder and also gonna move in front. Try to move in front of Juan Manuel as he hits the wall, and there's carnage with Patrick Silvassi involved as well. 2 cars already involved in a lap 1 collision, make that 3 cars even. Thomas Geisler, and just in that moment alone we've lost half the grid already tonight. Juan Manuel toes to the pits. Thomas Geisler has got wheel damage. He might be able to get that fixed. It's just flapping around a little bit. Gonna try to make his way around the fountain. Patrick Silvassi is done for today. His wheel hanging off completely. But we are on the way. So Oscar Fredriksson up 2 spots, Ross Fretton up 3, as the field already spreads out a little bit. We'll bring up a replay in just a moment, but heartbreak for Juan Manuel, who had a great qualifying result from the front row, locked up into turn 1 like we just saw in the corner of our eyes and just went into the wall there. So not much the guys behind could really do. As Sepp Kinder now follows Oscar Fredriksson on the front straight. On the push to pass, going to try to make a move on the inside. Oscar on the blacks. Sepp's going to go really deep on the brakes. Slide his way in there, and he's going to make the position in the fountain. There we go. Sepp Kinder up into P6. Great move. plenty of space and respect given by him, so good on him. So let's go back to the green flag, just a lap ago, and try and grab the chopper cam if I can. Here we go. So we're gonna watch the second car here. That's Oscar on the inside. He's gonna back out, but Juan doesn't really expect him to do that, I think. He just goes straight on, offline as well. Goes right into that wall. And I want to slow this down a little bit more and go on board with Juan Manuel, as he's actually on the racing line right here. Gonna brake for turn 1, of course, as you always do, otherwise you're gonna go straight on. Gets offline right here. You want to get on the inside of the track to the curb to make the corner, but offline there's little to no grip, and boom, it just goes straight on, and everybody else right behind has nowhere to go. Seb Kinder just about avoided it, by the way, but Patrick Silvassi and both Thomas Geisler as well ran straight into Juan Manuel, which really cost the race for both of them. So, tough break for those three, as we have 4 people a lap down right now. That's Ross Fretton, who has had an issue too. Oh, that's interesting. What did he have an incident then? Turn 1, lap 2 has the same issue that Juan Manuel had and gets some suspension and wing damage. So that leaves us with 3 cars running after the opening 2 laps, so I think it's not going to be a very good race from here. I have to say though, it's really impressive from Del Campo to start the race on the blacks, and then at least the last lap keep the gap at about 2 seconds. It's slowly coming down now, but the pace in this car of Del Campo's is really not that bad at all, so he's gonna hope to keep that up. So with Jesper Eriksson no showing tonight as well, Del Campo is gonna have a pretty sized gap over Eriksson. Sizable gap in the standings over Eriksson after this race. I think Del Campo is gonna be 30 or 40 points in the lead after this race, if he finishes of course in the lead, which is a bold assumption to make this early on, with 44 laps to go still at Long Beach. It is the most famous and prestigious street course in IndyCar racing, so plenty of bragging rights if you win this race. And currently it seems like only 3 cars in a shot to do so. Seb Kinder, I believe, brushing the wall on the exit out of turn 4. You don't want to do that too often because the suspension on this car is quite sensitive. If you hit it at just the right, well, depending on how you look at it, the right or wrong angle, but sometimes if you tap the wall you can get away with it, but if you just hit it at that angle, it really breaks quite easily. Or at least picks up some kind of damage, which is not what you need around this place. But Thomas Geisler is back out. We saw his wheel flapping around at the end of lap 1, and he got his damage repaired, is back out on track. Only 1 lap down, surprisingly enough, so it's not actually too bad, as Juan Manuel is also back out again. So he's gonna let the leaders by, and he's just gonna make laps, and so is Thomas Geisler, really. Just gonna make laps, try to get it to the finish. If somebody else drops out from the front 3, maybe pick up another spot from them. And I was just gonna say Patrick Silvassi might do the same, but he looks about done for today, as I predicted earlier. Oh, this bot is so annoying in chat. So the closest two cars for position on track is Seb Kinder and Oscar Fredriksson, who are battling for P2. Biggest mover, despite crashing in the opening lap, is Thomas Geisler, running 4th a lap down at the moment. He started 6th, is now running 4th as I mentioned. And Seb Kinder and Oscar both at 1 position. As Juan Manuel makes his way around Patrick Silvassi for position. As we look from the rear wing of Seb Kinder in his 2007 Ferrari-inspired livery from Formula 1, of course. And the reason why you see a barcode is the tobacco ban in the EU and plenty of other locations as well around the world. Of course, Marlboro was a tight sponsor of Ferrari, as Seb was really close to the tire war there on the exit, so did Oscar, by the way. But that's the reason why they ran a barcode on the car. I'm not sure how legit that barcode is, if you could actually scan it and actually get a product link or somewhere, but that's basically in the place where Marlboro is on the car, in, for example, Middle Eastern locations. As we continue to follow this battle for P2. Now, knowing Oscar with 40 laps to go, he is not really gonna risk too much if he doesn't need to. Remember that Seb is on the reds, his tires should fall away in about a lap or 5. A lap or 5, that's a pretty big margin, but you get what I'm saying. So Oscar's just gonna sit behind most likely and just wait for Seb's tires to fall off and then make the move on the inside of turn 1 or the back straight. If Seb either makes a mistake or just doesn't get a good run. Speaking of mistakes, it was very wide there in turn 8. Oscar gonna close up a little bit, but not too much. As we follow the reigning series champion around the hairpin, turn 11. Gets really close to that inside wall. Like I said in the beginning of the broadcast, you can actually get too close to it and actually hit it trying to straighten out the corner. It's something that you really have to pay attention to when you're driving. Now, I know that Oscar is running in VR, but somebody like myself, for example, is running on a monitor. So seeing it on a monitor is a little bit more difficult than in VR, because in VR you can actually look to the right or to the left to see where your car is positioned. But the majority of iRaces overall do race on a monitor, so sometimes it can be a bit tricky. And also in VR, by the way, trying to maximize that amount of track that you're using can sometimes be a little bit too much. Oscar is really closing up in that fountain section as he just misses the apex right there again. But the fountain seems to be Oscar's strong point. It seems to me that that's where he's the most confident in the car compared to Seb. Also in the final corner before the back straight, where we're just heading up to right now, is also a point where I often see Oscar gaining a little bit of time. But here again, just gains a little bit. It's only a few hundredths of a second, but it is a little bit. As Alejandro Docampo pulls out a 4.3 second gap in the opening 10 laps. as he continues to pull away. We have Juan Manuel Frias Gomez just in the background as well, just behind the battle between Seb and Oscar. So at the moment, Alejandro once again doing a good job converting qualifying into race pace, at least so far. We saw in the first road course race of the season at Circuit of the Americas where that proved to be a little bit difficult for him, but at Spa and Hungary he really did show that he has some proper good race pace along with the qualifying pace. Of course, if you maybe remember, at Circuit of the Americas he took pole by something like half a second over the rest of the field, and then really maxed a tenth or two on race pace compared to Jesper Eriksson at the time, who was the winner of that race. So getting confirmation that Patrick Silvassi and Ross Fretton are officially out. They will very likely not return to action on the track. So that leaves us with 5 cars still running. With Geisler 2 laps down now, he just went down another lap a few moments ago. And then Frias Gomez, who is also running 4 laps down. So it's just the top 3. As we are a quarter of the way into this race. Seb gonna try to break the draft a little bit down the front straight. As Oscar closes right up to the gearbox of Seb Kinder, so really closes up here through the fountain. This is his strong point, at least so far in the race. And at the moment the Reds really do seem to be falling off a little bit. If you maybe are new to IndyCar racing or racing in general, the Reds in IndyCar's case, which is what we are racing right now, the Reds are the softer compound. It's not like there's more or less air in either compounds, but the Reds are the fastest compound, but they wear the quickest as well. It's a softer rubber compound, and then the blacks, the primaries, which Oscar is on, which you can see right here as well by the way, it's got a black, or well, really a white sidewall, but we call it black sidewall tires. That's the primary tire with the harder, or I guess you could say regular or original rubber compound that IndyCar uses. And it goes the longest, but it's a little bit slower. Of course, high tire wear means it drops performance. Less tire wear means it stays very consistent over a tire stint. So we're about halfway through the fuel stint. And with this race being a one-stopper, almost definitely, you will have to run both compounds, as is part of the rules. So all the drivers will be on both compounds at some point in the race, so Seb getting it out of the way early, it seems. And the track temperature is actually going down, so what Oscar has done is actually quite smart. Starting the race at the hottest time of day on the hardest compound, which is when that tire works the best. And then the end of the race, when the track is coolest, the Reds will be the grippiest tire out there, and it will also last longer because the track is cooler, meaning the tires wear less fast. So clever thinking by Oscar. was just looking on the timing screen for a second. Maybe Oscar brushed the wall there. I didn't hear it, so might have been the case, but like I said earlier, you don't want to do that too often because the suspension can be quite sensitive. So if you keep the car in one piece, it will really only be an advantage. There's no point this early in the race as well, by the way, to push the limits of the car and the track. Simply because there's so much of the race still to go. If you drop out now, you might lose a position to guys or Frias Gomez, who are just running laps at this point. Kinder just blinking out again. And the reason I say again, it's the first time tonight, but it's been a trend lately where he seems to have a few connection issues. So hopefully for Oscar, who's running right behind him, it sorts itself out soon enough. You might be thinking, well, he's just in front of him. It might not affect him too much. It really does put you off a little bit, especially at braking. If the car disappears and then reappears again, you might miss your braking point, miss the apex, or just right there, might even get too close to the gearbox of the car in front. As Oscar is on the push to pass, trying to draft up to Seb Kinder. Gonna try have a look to the inside, because he knows that the blinking of Seb is affecting his performance as well. And at this point it really seems like you want to get past to not distract yourself. So here we go again. Oscar gonna try set step up for perhaps a pass down the front stretch. He's gonna close up on turn 1 again, but not close enough to try anything. Does show himself in the mirrors, but really not close enough, as he actually gets really close to the wall of turn 1 there. But oh, just a brush between Seb and Oscar on the exit of the fountain. Oh, Seb just brushed the wall right there. So Oscar's gonna have a look here on the backstretch probably. We'll grab a replay in just a second, but maybe Seb got some slight damage. I didn't see any yet. It's very tricky to see. A little bit of end plate damage it seems. So Oscar gonna go for the move here, I would imagine. On the push to pass, gonna go to the inside of turn 8. Turn 9, sorry, that is, as Oscar loses the rear end. Gonna slide into the wall with the rears. And that is Juan Manuel involved again on another incident. And Oscar's got suspension damage on the rear. The car is bottoming out. And Oscar's gonna tow to the pits with Seb Kinder. I would imagine driving by without any issues. I don't see any damage still, so... Oh yeah, there definitely is a little bit of damage on the front wing. So let's see what happened to Oscar Fredriksson. As we will go slow-mo from the chopper, just under the building right there. So Seb made that mistake a few corners ago. Oscar gonna go to the inside, gonna go really late on the brakes. But like I said with Juan Manuel Frias Gomez at the start, offline there's very little grip. So trying to slow the car down, ironically just before the stop signs on the road, but car steps out on the braking, the rear is just locking, and Seb wisely backs out of it, sees Oscar spinning, goes into the tire barriers, and then Seb actually gets hit from the rear by Juan Manuel, which sends Seb into a half spin. But that might just be the rain light damage right there on the back. I really can't show you guys an angle from that rain light, but basically at the back end of a car, you might see it here, just under the rear wing, just above the diffuser of the car. That's where the rain light is. If that damages, it will affect you slightly, but very little, especially on the street course. On ovals it's a little bit more significant, but on the street course it's not a big deal. This race is weird indeed. It's basically a demolition derby at this point. It's a very highly attrition race. And Oscar gonna drop down the order, I should say, into 4th place at the moment. Thomas Geisler goes by, grabs the podium spot, and this is exactly why Thomas Geisler is just running laps. People ahead might make mistakes, crash out, and if you just run laps, you might be able to jump them for position. So that's exactly why Geisler and Frias Gomez are running laps. because at the end of the season, you might pick up those points and you might need them. So we haven't even touched halfway, and we have over half the field either out of the race or with significant damage, running multiple laps down. It's just Del Campo and Kinder at the moment. So in all of that, Del Campo has a 16.5 second gap over Sebastian Kinder. And I'm just looking at the time delta between those two. Seb is actually gaining time on Del Campo despite having some slight damage. So that's very impressive. Especially on those old reds, just as I say that the time gap goes up again a little bit. So probably the reds being a little bit stronger still in the fountain, but not so good everywhere else. Lily also saying in chat this race, Seb blinking is almost a VOR running gag. I mean, it really is a reoccurring sight. It's really not something that we are, you know, looking at and we're thinking like, huh? We don't see that often. It's actually something we're getting used to. So I don't know. That's probably not a good thing, to be honest, but it is quite funny. To be honest, I really don't know what to talk about. We're halfway in. We have 2 cars running on the lead lap, 18 seconds between those two, and then everybody else is 3 or 4 laps down or out. So I really have no clue what to talk about. It's really weird. I've never really been in this situation before. So I suppose we'll just bring in some schedule stuff. So the remainder of the season, next week we have off again. Actually, now that I think about it, do we have a main series race next week? Let me just quickly check that schedule. Yeah, we actually do not. So next week we have off again entirely before we return to Red Bull Ring for round 6, which is a track that most of the field will be familiar with. Then we go to the Indy bike course, which is still pending the IMS rescan. We don't have it yet. Maybe on the next build, which I believe will release a few weeks before that, so hopefully it does. Then we got the Indy Oval to cap off the season, the Indianapolis 200-mile race, which is going to bring up us up to 500 miles in total by the end of that night. It's again a double header with the main series. But speaking of the main series, I don't have the graphic on OBS right now, but the next race for the main series tonight is at Long Beach as well. Then we have a week off there too. Then we return to Richmond Raceway on March 5th, which I will actually miss. If you, Joyce, are watching, you know why. Then we got Indy Bike on March 12th. Again, that lines up with the Euro Series, so another double header between the 2 leagues. Then we have the Indy Oval on the 26th. Again, a double header. Then the Euro Series season is over. And then we go to Milwaukee for the main series on April 2nd, then another week off until the streets of Detroit, then Nashville, and another week off until the final race of the season at the Homestead Miami Speedway. So that is the main series schedule. If you would like to join either the Euro Series, the main series, or even both, then the Discord links are in the description of the broadcast. So check it out and get racing with us. The Euro Series is free to enter, by the way. And there is a $10 entry fee on the main series, which will fund the broadcasting mainly. And I think cars hitting the wall is something netcode related by iRacing. So I don't think anybody's actually hitting the wall. Just as I say that Sepp Kinder is losing time, did Sepp Kinder have an incident? No, he's just gone into the pits. That explains a lot. So 25 laps to go. It's inside the fuel window, so he's gonna make his way into the pits. Get rid of the red. Excuse me, sorry. Get rid of the reds, go onto the blacks to run the distance. So Seb off and away with fresh Firestones and fuel in the car. And one thing, by the way, you see the Bridgestone logo on the side pods of Seb's car. Bridgestone is the international side. Well, really, I should say it the other way around. Firestone is the North American brand of Bridgestone. So Bridgestone is the global brand. Then you've got Firestone, which does all the IndyCar stuff, and in the US, the road tires. Which is something that's actually quite interesting. You have it with Honda as well. Of course, in Japan it's just Honda, and then in the EU as well, it's really just Honda. Seb brushes the wall, just didn't really brush it. He actually hit it pretty hard as well on the cold tires, trying to get the tires up to tank. So not great. Probably some slight suspension damage, but he is running a P2, so that won't be a very big threat from behind. But with Honda you have that too, with Acura, which is the presenting sponsor of the real life Long Beach Grand Prix, the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach, being the sports car / North American brand of Honda. Of course you have both in the US, but oh well. Oh, Seb is having more kinds of issues. Just goes straight on there, misses his braking point, gonna reverse and get back on his way again. So Seb's just gone down a lap too in doing that. So Del Campo is the only car on the lead lap, but he's yet to pit, of course. So I think we're gonna look at everybody being lapped apart from the leader, of course, because you can't lap the leader if you're the leader. Yeah. And Seb's gonna make his way into the pits again, so probably a little bit too much damage to continue. Yeah, definitely some front wing damage again on the car. Maybe I can grab a shot from it. There you can see it. We compare that to this angle. If you actually pay close attention, you can actually see that the left side of the front wing here is bent upwards slightly, and you will see a change to its original position when Seb gets a new wing. There you go. So Seb back to the blacks. And off and away once again. He is still 3 laps in front of Thomas Geisler, so I do not think he will have to worry about him too much. So we are over halfway in. We're gonna quickly go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. So see you all in just a minute.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at ApexSageCoach.
Back here at the streets of Long Beach for round 5 in the VOR iRacing IndyCar main series powered by Apex Sage Coaching. That was a brief commercial break. I think... No, I'm not going to say that. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway. I think a few people need to see that commercial. So yeah, if you are watching this broadcast, driving the IndyCar primarily, and you want to take your iRacing to the next level, go to Apex Sage Coach on Twitter. That's where you can contact my friend Isaac, who sponsors VOR. Thank you, by the way, to Isaac for sponsoring both the Euro and main series. But does a great job coaching people. If you really want to pick up your pace overall, improve your driving, then he is the man to contact on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach, as I said. So the camp was gonna make his way into the pit with 20 laps to go. He actually stretched it 28 laps. So very impressive fuel mileage by the 21. He's gonna go to the Reds and he's off and away again. So, what we're gonna do with 9 laps to go, like I said, there's not much to really cover. So, I'm gonna give you guys 3 laps of sights and sounds of the iRacing, the Lara iRacing IndyCar around the Long Beach street circuit. I will be right back with you guys. here at Long Beach after a few laps of very nice sounds of the twin-turbo V6 IndyCar engines on iRacing. Sounds great, even in the sim. Of course, as we are actually supposed to do on each broadcast. This is iRacing, in case you couldn't tell it from the logo in the bottom right of the screen, which is literally right there, but oh well. It's iRacing, so if you want to go online racing on the sim, go to iRacing.com and make an account and do all the good stuff, payment, because it's a paid subscription that you're actually paying for. So yeah, that's what we're racing on, iRacing. So 15 laps to go. What we're gonna do now is we're quickly gonna go back to the opening lap of this race. We're gonna go right back to the green flag. Coming to the green flag here, it's a Euromaster Esports front row, led by Alejandro Docampo with Juan Manuel Frias right behind in second. Going into turn 1, Juan is going side by side with Oscar. Oscar has a nose up the inside, backs out, but Juan goes offline and slides straight into the tire barriers, with Patrick Silvassi and Thomas Geisler being involved in there as well, just innocent bystanders in that one. So that caught out the first 3 drivers. Then later on in the lap, or at the end of lap 1 I should say, starting lap 2, Ross Fretton, same issue for him. Goes straight on in turn 1, takes some suspension damage and is out of the race. Then we had Thomas Geisler, who also had an issue where he just clipped the barrier here as well, going through turn 7. Go straight on and gonna reverse. And then later on I have another issue. So then going to lap 17, battle for position between Sam Kinder and Oscar Fredriksson. This is the battle for P2 at the time. Oscar gonna show his nose up the inside, actually goes for the move, locks the rear, slides into the tire barrier. Then Juan Manuel, who is already back out after repairing damage, actually taps Sepp Kinder from the back, giving him some slight diffuser damage, but Oscar Fredriksson's day is done. And then Thomas Geisler had another issue on lap 18, which we also missed, through the hairpin. Loses the rear end, goes nose first into the tire barrier, and actually just in front of the pit entrance as well. So I guess you could say good timing, but of course that's not ideal. And later on, Sepp Kinder had another incident going through turn 8 with some slight front wing damage, locks the fronts and goes straight on. And later on he actually got suspension damage, so SDK playing up a little bit, but whatever. Quite a chaotic Grand Prix of Long Beach, which has seen 3 drivers retire, 3 drivers on a lap down or more, and then of course the leader still circulating. And as far as I can tell, hasn't made a single mistake all night long. And it shows as well, because he is literally dominating the race at the moment. Oh, excuse me if you heard that. It's my stomach playing up a little bit. I apologize. So just gonna do some quick maths in my head for you guys as well. So Alejandro Docampo was a point back on Jesper Eriksson going into this event. Of course, Docampo has started from the he started from the pole, led a lap, led all of the laps in fact, and at the moment with 11 laps to go is looking very likely to win this one as well. So we'll just say for the sake of it, he's gonna score 54 points tonight. That's gonna jump him to 176 points. With Jesper Eriksson not scoring, he will stay at 123. Then Patrick Silvassi is gonna score 26 points, so that will be 127 for him. So Sepp Kinder gonna score 40 points, which will be 133. I believe that is. Yes, it is. 133. So what that basically means, for the top 4 at least, De Campo is gonna have a 40-point lead in the championship with 3 races to go, with Ericsson likely to miss another round. So I think we might be looking at a very likely championship for Alejandro De Campo, who of course we know has got phenomenal pace. And if you exclude the second race at Circuit of the Americas, really has a great consistent race pace as well. So it's going to be difficult to beat him for Ericsson, and also make a run for the championship by missing tonight. So De Campo, we know him in VOR from the old Formula 1 league, where he was teammates to Jorge Martinez, and I guess you could say plays second fiddle to him. But since the word go in the Euro Series in IndyCar, he has been right on it, and it shows, because you don't get a 40 point lead out of nowhere. For sure, Jesper missed a race or 2, but so did De Campo. So it's a great performance by Alejandro at the moment to really set a good, I guess, example, or yeah, I'm gonna go with the word example for the rest of the field, and a clear benchmark as well. That's what I was looking for, benchmark for the entire field to really work on, and for next season to try and beat him, because at the moment he seems near unbeatable on the road courses and, well, the street courses of course. Of course, we've got Indianapolis and Oval coming up, which really is a wildcard race in all honesty. Of course, it takes skill to drive an oval, but it's really more thinking power than actually driving with your talent that you have. Of course, you're largely running flat out on Indy, so not much to really change on your driving. Of course, looking for clean air is going to be critical, but other than that, not much you can really do. So inside 10 to go. We will quickly go towards another commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more sights and sounds of IndyCars, because I have nothing to talk about, and then we'll be back for the finish for real.
Do you struggle to survive around the toughest circuits? Are you fed up of making poor mistakes that end your races? Well, here at Apex Sage Coaching, we will help you reach your full driving potential. Whether it be a road course or an oval, we have a coach that will improve your ability. Over time, we will iron out those mistakes and make you become the driver you wish to be. And soon, you'll be making last lap passes for the win. For more information, reach out to us on Twitter at Apex Sage Coach.
we are back at Long Beach for the final 3 laps around this, well, very difficult street course. Let's keep it at that, because we have seen a very high level of attrition, so high my voice is even cracking. Just like a few drivers have tonight as well, making mistakes, but next week we have off, then we return to the Red Bull Ring, and it's been complete domination the last 3 races really by Alejandro Del Campo, who is gonna go to victory lane once again if he can keep the car out of the barriers with the final 2 laps coming up. Safe to say we have seen more interesting races, but sometimes you have one of these in there as well. If you're watching, I feel your pain, what you just told me. Okay, so white flag is out for the Grand Prix of Long Beach. 1 lap to go for Alejandro Del Campo. It's been a very long 48 laps. It's been about an hour of green flag racing. And Del Campo definitely taking it very easy. I noticed this just after the commercial break too. He was really lifting off early, just making sure that he got to the finish really far away from all these walls, doesn't want to make a mistake. So 2 more corners to go, and Del Campo will take a huge championship lead into the next race at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. And of course Sepp Kinder gonna finish in second. Good job to Seb, but out of the final corner, the hairpin for the final time, Del Campo dominates and crushes the opposition at Long Beach and wins the inaugural race on a street course in VOR. Congratulations to Del Campo. Sebastian Kinder has got a half lap to go before he comes across the line to take his best result of the season, and I believe that's going to be his first podium in the series too. Actually, as I say that, wait, is this his first podium? I don't think so, now that I say it. I thought so. I don't anymore. No, he finished second at Autocross Speedway already, so... And also at Code. Oh, why do I'm confused with the main series then. Okay, whatever. So Sepp Kinder, 3 podiums in a row. It's all second places actually, so... Out of the hairpin for Sepp Kinder, had a few issues, but he will once again go to the podium to really finish off a night of attrition, as I said. So congratulations to all the podium finishers. Del Campo doing his donuts in the fountain section. That's actually a very appropriate place to do it. And he's gonna mow the lawn, I guess, for the Long Beach Governors, but that wraps it up at Long Beach. So gonna go over your race results one final time. Alejandro Del Campo for Euromaster Esports wins it by a full lap over Sebastian Kinder, who finishes in the 2nd position for the 3rd time in a row. Then we have Thomas Geisler, who goes to the podium 5 laps down. Juan Manuel Frias Games also 5 laps down, finishes in the 4th position. Oscar Fredriksson finishes 31 laps down in 5th. Ross Fred in 6th. His teammate 47 laps down, and also 47 down is Patrick Silvassi. So, now it's actually tempting to not do any interviews, but I do see Seb Kinder in the waiting room, so I will just briefly talk to him. I don't want to make the interviews too long because there's not much to talk about. Bonjour. Seb, do you have me?
Yeah.
Bonjour. So, I actually
Yeah.
I actually said something on the broadcast which I will take back right with you right now. I said this was your first podium, but it's your third podium in a row. So, congratulations on another.
No, that isn't my first podium. Like that is my second, but not third podium in a row.
Okay, well, anyways, another podium for you in the Euro Series. Congratulations. You had an incident with Oscar when he went for a move. Talk to me about that. Talk to me through about that.
Well, okay, so we have to wind up a few corners. Okay, so the second corner after the fountain actually understeered and hit the wall, and that would damage my car. So I was resigned. Actually, I was just like, okay, well, I had a good run. I'm going to let him. He's going to be on the push to pass for sure. So I'm decided. Well, I'm not going to impose any resistance, and I'll just let him through and see how the second half would pan out. And then I just see him spinning. It's just like, oh no! And I still didn't have any confidence in my broken car, so I slowed down a lot. And Juanma didn't realize that and rear-ended me.
All right. Well, yeah, I was just thinking about how you were explaining that. So yeah, like you said, you did hit the wall, but what I'm curious about is whether Oscar knew that, because it doesn't seem like something Oscar did. So you did the wise thing, great job about that. But I'm just confused trying to think about why Oscar did that. But I'll have to ask him later on.
Okay, so if you read the channel, actually, I think Oscar broke 100 meters too late.
Oh yeah, I just see it right now. So yeah, Oscar mistook the 400-meter board as the 300-meter board as 400 meters. So yeah,
which is
luck up.
Well, I mean, he was on the inside, so yeah, that would have been more sense. But it's still like 50 meters before my breaking point. But I mean, if he got a lot of time, I would have let him through easy peasy.
Yeah,
just how it is.
Exactly, it is how it is. But still, you finished in the second position, so a great performance, although it's a lap down from the winner. But we're just going to ignore that. You finished second, great job.
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to beat Alejandro today, even if I didn't crash the exit of my first exit lap.
That's exactly why we are going to ignore that it was a lap down.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
So later on tonight, the main series, any expectations going in there, or?
First, I beg my connection was letting me down because it was doing weird things during this race. Finally, a freaking top 5. Like, I've been going so many races. I mean, Watkins, Motegi, and I think there was another one where I was so close from the top 5, but sadly, either I get taken out or I do a silly mistake, and I want to have a top 5 tonight.
Well, hopefully for you, you can get it. You've got a great team behind you, and I think
yeah.
you have some words to say.
Yeah. Well, first shout out to Shell for no. I mean, that was insane just spreading that Kimi Räikkönen paint scheme though. But shout outs to National Wrestling Network, MTW owned companies, Martin Sports, and Premier Setups, partners of the team for now a bit. And, they're doing a great job, so check them out. Shout out to my sister, watching, always being the #1 supporter of the team. Shout out to Patrick. He really had bad luck, and to be honest, even though I was second, I was hoping that you would make the call that we restart this race, because the whole field, like half of the field, has been taken out in turn 1, and since we have so few people in this league, and that is so frustrating. We had like 9 people who registered, but 7 people who turned up, and I think there's 8 or 7 people who didn't even bother to say if they were racing or not, and that is very depressing to see. So yeah, I just want to enjoy it.
And on that note, if you would like to join the Euro Series, please head to the description of the broadcast and sign up, because we need people.
Please.
We have 30 people signed up, and literally not even a third of them race. So if you
Yeah,
want to race in
please,
the league for real, be active and race with us.
please, please. It's just so sad seeing only 7 people in this great racetrack. Like, yeah, that
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. It's just like I can't always say something about it, because I have
yeah.
my
Yeah, yeah,
my opinion.
Julian, you're the professional. You're the professional, and I'm the driver. I'm supposed to be the hot-headed a-hole that just say, "Oh, this sucks, this sucks," you know.
Well, I mean, as much as I would like to say it, if I do say it, it's not going to be without a filter. So I
Yeah,
think
oh
I'm
yeah,
going
oh
to
yeah,
get in
man, yeah.
trouble for doing that.
This is why I censored my expletives. You know. Yeah, I got your back, Julian.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But anyway, I will let you go because Alejandro is waiting for me. But I'll
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to you later, man.
This guy's taking so long. He just finished second.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you.
Yeah, later.
Sorry, that was Sepkin. Alright, we're gonna bring in Alejandro. Alejandro, congratulations on another win in the series. Not much to really say, so just run me through your race and your expectations for the next race at Red Bull Ring.
Thank you. Not much to say. The competition really finished in turn one. So yeah, it was a workout out there, and yeah, saving fuel, tires, being super far from the walls, and yeah, just finish because yeah, Saldi, Patrick, and no, Oscar and Sebastian just collide, and yeah, everybody just went lapped. So super boring race, um, a pity race, you know.
Yeah,
And yeah, the expectations for Red Bull Ring. Well, I hope that there's more people so we can have a fun race and yeah, keeping trying to win every race, you know.
exactly. Well, I mean, if my calculations, which I wouldn't really trust, but I did try my best. If my calculations are correct again, you will have about a 40-point lead in the championship after this race because Jesper missed a round and then Patrick had an issue
Yeah,
too. So your championship aspirations are looking very bright. So hopefully you can actually clinch it with a race or two to go because I think that's looking at on the cards at the moment. So just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job, and yeah, after I ask you for your shoutouts, go out and sweat Red Bull Ring.
and yeah. Well, I will try in Red Bull Ring to become champion. But well, it depends more to Jasper. You know, I need I think 80 points, so very difficult. It
Yeah,
depends on Jasper. I hope he will join us again. And yeah, he's very fast and compete for the race win at least.
exactly. So I assume there are a few people that you would like to thank because I do see that you're racing for Euromaster Esports. Any people that you want to thank or sponsors maybe?
Ah, yeah, of course. Thank you to our sponsors, Euromaster and Shell, and yeah, hoping to bring them a new championship, even the constructor championship. That yeah, I had 3 or 4 races of me alone, but now Juanma is doing at least a good job. He's bringing back points, and yeah, let's have fun the next races.
Perfect. Well, I will see you 2 weeks from now at the Red Bull Ring. Go out and celebrate, man.
See you.
Bye bye. All right. So it's always a little bit difficult sometimes to speak with people who don't always understand what you're saying, which is completely fine, of course. But sometimes I'm thinking as well, like, what's he saying? Hold on. Yeah, he's saying that. Okay. But anyways, that's that's completely fine. So next week we have off, as I mentioned, 2 weeks from now the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. Then later on we have the Indy Bike Course and the Oval to cap off the season. Of course, join us later on tonight for the main series around Long Beach as well, which I'm expecting to go a lot better than this race, but we'll never really know until it actually happens. So tune in then at 7 p.m. Eastern US time, about 3 hours from now. We will go green for practice, and then 3.5 hours from now, the broadcast will go up by Chris Scala. So check it out. For now, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Isaac Morris for sponsoring, and see you in 2 weeks for